So this is the final maymory video for maymory month, obviously. I was gonna upload another one with 6 more levels so that I can do this for my 20th, but obviously the other 6 levels are not as interesting as the other levels and I just don't feel like uploading them. So I'm just gonna show some clips of what I did and then give a rating of how much I enjoyed them. Extreme Anno Park, 7 out of 10. Mechanic Megaforce, 7 out of 10. Templarium, 6 out of 10. Mastermind, 9 out of 10. Joyride, 6 out of 10. And Blood Menace, 7 out of 10. So yeah, here's the completion of Marathon, and I'm going to explain my thoughts on all of that, so enjoy that bit. I'm getting off. Exactly how I feel, VOC man. Please get far. I really just want to get far, please. That's it. Memory's over. I'm done. Okay, so Marathon by Weo and Hinds. What is there to say about it, honestly? That's the big question. Alright, now, let me give my overall thoughts on Maymory, and then I'm going to explain about Marathon. So I decided to contribute to Maymory Month for Aeonair by playing 20 levels, and I was going to do as many as I can and then 5 extremes of choice, but just to save myself a good amount of time, because I'm sure I'm not going to be able to do that anyways, I decided to do 3 extremes instead and have a total of 20 levels. So I decided to do that, and the major ones that I pretty much did, which are basically the extremes, some of the same demons were actually a big part of it. The main extremes were Killbot, Endurance, and Marathon. But regardless, the entire experience itself of me playing nothing but memory levels and just beating so many demons to just contribute to Maymory Month, I basically just learned the reason why it could not be enjoyable for many people and why I probably didn't enjoy it that much. Even though I had fun with a good amount of levels, I really loved the Fake series by Lunar. I really loved the GDDP levels that were also on there. They were incredibly fun. But just overall, the experience of it, you realize why memory levels can just not be as fun after you do so many of them. And there's only 2 things that carry it: the choke points and forgetting how to play the level. This was a major problem when playing so many of these memory levels. I always kept forgetting how to play them, and it just made me really frustrated because it literally is not super hard after trying to learn and get super consistent with the level by just knowing how to play it. It really should not be hard to get down usually. And that's why a couple of the levels that I had to play were really annoying, because every time I forgot how to play the level, I just got very upset, because it literally should not be hard to forget certain levels for some reason, because I was able to do it for most of them, but not like for other ones. Like, I don't get that. I don't know if it's just because there's a lot of fakes in your way and it's super easy to forget those. It's probably just that. But the problem that's just not that, and it's because of the level as well, are the choke points. Obviously, a choke point is a really hard spike in difficulty, where there's like one certain part, one certain time in or anything that's much harder than every other part of the level. And most of the time, memory levels do have choke points, which is why there's so many times that you would fail at those areas and it would just get really frustrating. Even if it's expected, it's just not as fun. But regardless, choke points in the levels just make it so much more frustrating than it needs to be. Like, choke points are not fun. It literally doesn't make the level harder, it just makes the level like not as fun to play, because you're just gonna fail at the same thing over and over again. I don't know, that just doesn't make it difficult, it just makes it frustrating. I really don't know how to explain choke points really well. And that's why later on, after beating like 10 memory levels, it just started to get super boring. Like, all of them were really hard and insane demons. And obviously the memory bit, the learning process, those were okay. But after just learning the levels, it's just playing from zero and just not getting anywhere after failing at certain choke points, or just forgetting how to play low, which is just bad enough already. I just had less fun playing the levels after doing so many of them. It's probably just because the gameplay isn't as interesting as you would think, because it's just remember when to click for certain sections and you're all good. That's just basically what you have to do all the time. But this is the problem that I had for Marathon, which was the final level I wanted to do for Maymory Month. Marathon is only cube, so it's basically all time int all the way through for 4.5 minutes. It gets a bit faster once you get to the second half, and then the final quarter is much faster and then slows down at the very end on mile 25. And then once you get to the very last mile, then you're basically done. This level, gameplay wise, is really clever. I love the idea of it because the song gets much faster over time, and then the level picks up the pace. And obviously it is a memory level because there's a lot of stuff that you have to remember. There's a lot of different timings, there's a lot of blocks that you have to make sure you try not to go on. Make sure you're taking the right path. And most of it is buffers and hold in. That's basically the whole gimmick of it as well, which is kind of nice. But of course, because it is marathon, it has the problem of there being choke points. There were so many choke points that I had to run through in the level, and it was just not fun at all. I'm going to go ahead and name a couple of choke points that were really annoying to deal with. 17% in most of mile 5, 47, 56, and 67. And even though that's not that many choke points that are a big problem, there are a couple more that are able to get a little bit consistent, but they can still happen just for how hard they are. And man, just this level could have just been so much better. And the worst part is that because mile 5 was the one that I was worried about how much I was going to fail at because of that choke point at 17 and then a couple more later on, I always keep forgetting how to play the level from zero every single time. And this is not a joke. I've literally failed by forgetting how to play the level over 100 times. Like, that is actually ridiculous after just learning the level and getting super consistent with it. Most of them were in mile 6 too, which was just even worse. But just forgetting how to play the level that far in, that just does not feel good at all. It just makes you really annoyed because you should just like know how to play the level, but when you misclick something somehow just because you think that's the way you're supposed to do it, it just doesn't feel good. It just makes you not good at memory. It just does not play well. Like, I really wanted to like this level. I really wish it could be so much better. It definitely can be if the choke points were removed, but that's pretty much the same thing with Endurance anyways, because Endurance is just a remake of it, but it has no choke points. And that's why I liked it a lot more, because I was able to beat it at a faster time after learning, because there's not as many choke points. I literally got to 80 every single attempt. It's literally not that hard to do if you know what you're doing, obviously. But honestly, I do prefer Marathon over Kill Ball anyways. I definitely think this is one of the more cooler streams that definitely came out, but it definitely could have been so much better. And what I recommended, I really want to, even if it is like choke point carry, like this level is just, it's really good for multiple things that isn't just memory. It's also good for length, which is basically just nerve control, and I guess it's a good patience test as well. But yeah, I really wished I was able to like this more, but no, the choke points carried me too much, and getting 99 twice, which is not even hard either, like that's just really bad. But needless to say, I am done with memory. I literally pretty much learned why this is really hard and why it's not as enjoyable as playing other levels that you really want to play. So I'm pretty much just gonna go ahead and move on from that and not really do this type of thing. Unless it's really interesting and it makes me want to play the levels I really want to play, then I'll do it. But no, Memory Month is pretty much done for me. Like, I cannot handle memory levels as much anymore. It literally is the same thing over and over again, unless there's something interesting about it. But hey, it's really nice to contribute to something once in a while. But no, I cannot do anything like this again. Anyways, I'm pretty much done talking. I hope you guys enjoyed. See ya.